Right everyone, today we're going to be talking about an amazing counter to the new Galactic Legend Palpatine, which is actually a full Nightsister squad. Yes, this is shocking to me as well, but there are a few disclaimers I'd like to get out of the way first. The first being the SCE in the footage is modded purely for crit damage and offense in the secondaries, and there is very little speed applied from mods. And secondly, this most likely won't work against all team compositions, so consider this a soft counter under the right circumstances. I really don't want to be like some people who advertise a risky counter as foolproof, which is why I wanted to mention all of this near the start of the video. However, it's not all bad news, as given how SCE's ultimate works, the speed being low may not actually affect this counter, so give it a try after watching the video and let me know how it fares against fast SCEs. I'd love to hear everyone's feedback. So with that all out of the way, it's still an absolutely amazing discovery that Nightsisters can counter a Galactic Legend at all. I absolutely love this team, so it's great to have a chance to talk about them again. It's not a guaranteed win, as things can go wrong. You do generally have to take out SCE before he can use his ultimate, as he will wipe out your team the first turn he gets after activating it. So without any further delay, let's get started. So starting up as always, we're going to go through the mods and Zetas this team is going to need to work. As you can see, most of my Nightsisters are low relic bar Daka and Asajj. Spirit is actually only gear 12, which might not be a bad thing as you do need a few deaths for this counter to work properly. I feel relic 7 Daka is fairly important due to the fact she needs to be able to survive long enough for us to kill Traya, as she'll always be the first one to be isolated. High relics on Asajj is also nice due to the increased damage, as she's going to be keen taking out GL Palp towards the end of the battle. Talzin and Zombie are fine at fairly low relics, but if you do have a well developed Nightsister team, I doubt it'll cause too many issues, as Vader's damage is brutal and should give you the deaths you need. So for Zetas, you're going to need both of Talzin's, which allow dead Nightsister allies to revive, attack and then die again, as well as granting Talzin turn meter when any unit falls below 50% health. The first of these is crucial as it fuels Daka's health and Asajj's damage from the deaths and revives. This is extremely important as Daka needs to survive and Asajj needs boosted damage to be able to outdamage GL Palp's healing at the end of the battle. You're also going to need Asajj's unique, which is going to work very well with the Talzin lead. This setter will grant Asajj stacking offense, crit chance and max health each time a unit is defeated, which is going to be happening a lot with the Talzin lead as we explained a few moments ago. And finally, you're going to need Daka's Zeta, which is going to grant a 10% max health each time an ally is revived, which also works perfectly with the Talzin lead. This setter is extremely important as Daka will get isolated very early in the battle, so this setter is going to help her survive long enough for us to take out Traya and in turn remove the isolate. So as you have probably figured out by now, the trick to success with this team is a planned kill order and trying to keep certain Nightsisters dead, so we can stack up the stats on Daka and Asajj early in the battle. The other benefits of dead allies is it's less allies for GL Palp to link and deceive, and this is good because he only gains charged in his ultimate ability when a deceived or linked enemy takes a turn. However, Asajj and Daka need to be alive as much as possible as both are crucial to win the battle. When an ally dies, it also removes linked and deceived, so realistically Spirit and Talzin both being dead is the ideal scenario, but don't worry if you can't set it up perfectly. As you'll see in the footage later on, you can still win even when things go completely wrong. So moving on to their mods, we're going to start with the team's leader Mother Talzin, who we have modded with an offense and a health set with a total of 260 speed. Offense is key on Talzin as she's going to be dealing a lot of special damage to the enemy team through hitting plagued enemies. She's going to also be gaining a lot of turn meter from her unique, so be sure to stack her offense as high as possible once meeting a respectable speed. Next up is our Asajj, who we have modded with a crit damage and crit chance set with a total of 231 speed. Now Asajj is going to be your main damage dealer in this team, so make sure to have a crit damage primary triangle and an offense primary cross. Once meeting a respectable speed, be sure to look for additional offense in the secondaries, but don't worry too much as she will be gaining a lot of offense from her unique ability throughout the battle. Up next is our Daka, who we have modded with 3 health sets with a total of 244 speed. Your main focus on her is making sure that she has as much health as possible, so that she's gaining more health from her unique each time it's applied. The only exception to this is you will need a crit avoidance arrow, which will help massively in reducing the damage she receives early on in the battle. I would also strongly recommend 6-seeing all of her health primaries, as she's the glue holding the team together and she needs to be able to stand long enough for us to take out Traya, as we talked about a few moments ago. For secondaries, it's also crucial to focus on speed above all else. Next up is our Zombie, who we have modded with 2 health sets and a defense set with a total of 236 speed. Similar to Daka, you need to focus purely on health for the primaries, except for the arrow, which needs to be critical avoidance. Ideally you'd want 3 health sets, but I run the defense set for the secondary speed it provides along with a health primary. Similar to Daka, you need to focus purely on speed in the secondaries to make sure she's actually taking taking turns often enough. Finally is our Spirit, who we have modded with an offense and crit chance set with a total of 280 speed. She's going to be your secondary damage dealer, so it's important to make sure she has a crit damage primary triangle as well as an offense primary cross. She's also going to be very helpful in dispelling taunts when Asajj is on cooldown. In the perfect scenario, she will be providing a lot of assists from the grave, as given she's only gear 12, it's far more likely she'll die if she's targeted by a heavy hitter like Vader. Generally, a dead Spirit is the best scenario for this battle. So moving on to the actual battle now, once Palpatine has linked two members of our team, what I have noticed happens immediately after is Thrawn will fracture Zombie, and then Traya will always isolate Daka, which is rather dangerous as this prevents Daka from interacting with the rest of her team until Traya is defeated. Once this has all happened, we need to quickly dispel the taunt on Sith Trooper and start focusing down Traya. Be sure to stack up as much plague on her as possible by using non-basic attacks, which will apply one stack of plague to the target enemy, and be sure to use Talzin's AoE on her first turn. Soon after, Vader is going to activate Merciless Massacre and Sith Trooper is going to regain Taunt. At this point there needs to be enough plague on Traya so she dies shortly after. Most of the time Vader is not able to kill Daka during his bonus turns, but will usually burn through our 2 free revives and leave a Nightsister fully dead. Luckily on this battle, Spirit was fully killed and Asajj wasn't, which allows us to remove the taunt on Sith Trooper again soon, and then get back to finishing off Traya, which will free our Daka. A dead assist in Spirit is also going to kickstart the stat boosts on Daka and Asajj, which is crucial for winning the battle. Keep in mind that until Traya is dead, Daka will be unable to revive any of our team. So once Traya is finally dead, we're next going to kill off Thrawn and then Sith Trooper. Now note that I did revive my Talzin and Spirit, which I now admit was a mistake as I was still practicing this team at the time. Having those two dead is a perfect setup, which you will see again later on in the battle. Darth Vader should always be left until last apart from GL Palp, and this is because he will be killing off your Nightsisters frequently, which removes Linked and Deceived from them. The reason for this is it seriously slows down GL Palp's ultimate ability. Keep in mind only one ally with Linked needs to die to remove it from the other, which is really helpful. Killing Vader off early usually results in Palp activating his ultimate and us losing the battle. So now it's time to finally kill off Darth Vader and then rush as quickly as we can to kill GL Palp. Now this battle overall went pretty smooth all considering. We've had lots of time to charge Asajj, so we'll have little issues out damaging Palpatine's heals. At this point, if Palpatine kills one or two of your Nightsisters, do not revive them, as this will massively speed up killing him and reduce the risk of him going into his ultimate. So overall, no major problems at all in this battle and a massive win against a much higher tiered team. But in this next battle, we're going to have a look at when things take a turn for the worse early on and Vader kills off Daka. In this next battle, things start off largely the same. Thrawn fractures Zombie followed by Traya isolating Daka, after which we start stacking up plague on Traya and things seem to be going pretty well. Unfortunately, this battle is full of bad RNG and this begins when Vader uses Merciless Massacre followed by a Culling Blade and takes out our Daka. In all honesty, this made me panic, but surprisingly we were able to turn the battle around and get her back. Don't panic if something goes wrong and be sure to stick to the kill order, primarily killing off Traya. When Daka is dead, you also need to time an assist from her to kill off an enemy if possible, or to use Talzin's mass assist and kill someone, as this is the only way to bring her back. Having her dead for too long is far too risky, so be sure to prioritise timing Thrawn and Sith Trooper's deaths to revive her if possible. Another issue in this battle was our team was riddled with Deceived for a good amount of the battle, which brought us dangerously close to being taken out by GL Palp at the end of the battle. Whenever a Deceived enemy takes a turn, it grants Palpatine 2% ultimate charge. While this may not sound like much, it quickly stacks up. He also gains 8% ultimate charge when a linked enemy takes a turn, so if this is all floating around, it can seriously speed up his ultimate activating, which as mentioned earlier is an instant loss the moment he takes his first turn in his final form. So the final part of this fight was actually a lot closer than I first realised, given the reasons I just discussed. GL Palp actually goes into his ultimate form, but luckily I was able to just about take him out before he could take a turn and wipe us out. This was by far the toughest battle I've done with this team, but the fact I was still able to win proved to me this team is actually a pretty decent counter. So now we're going to take a quick look at one last battle and summarise everything we have learned. As always, Thrawn is going to fracture Zombie and Traya will isolate Daka. We then need to dispel taunts from Sith Trooper and spam plague on Traya. Now in this battle, when Vader took his bonus turns, we lost both Asajj and Spirit, which was actually very problematic due to the fact we now have no way to dispel Sith Trooper's taunt a second time, and Daka cannot fully revive them until we shake isolate. Luckily though, we had a lot of plague on Traya and Talzin's AoE, so we were able to eventually take her out and then proceed to revive Asajj and Spirit, so we have a dispel available. Asajj dying is very irritating given she's our main source of dispels. Remember to make sure that you try to keep either Spirit or Talzin dead so you can stack up the stats on Daka and Asajj. It's also very important to make sure Vader isn't killed before anyone else bar GL Palp, as you need him to be killing members of your team and removing the stacks of Linked and Deceived as often as possible. Dead Nightsisters assisting also have the advantage of being unable to be linked or to take turns while deceived, seriously slowing GL Palp's ultimate down. So after this minor setback, we went back to normal and proceeded to take out Thrawn, Sith Trooper and finally Vader before moving on to GL Palp. This time luckily we did not trigger the ultimate ability and taking out Palp went smoothly. In a few moments now we're going to take a quick look at the mods of our opponent. So let's take a closer look at the mods of my opponent. All the battles were done against the same team, which is the only GL Palp in my shard right now, and as I mentioned at the start, the modding of GL Palp is on the slow side. And that's all for today everyone. I hope you all enjoyed the video and learned how to use your Nightsisters to counter certain GL Palp teams. I found this an absolutely amazing discovery and it's nice to have a full synergy team that can take out a GL. I feel that this would struggle more if Sith Empire characters were present though. Someone like Darth Revan or Malak could seriously ruin this counter, but other Sith Triumvirate characters such as Nihilus or Sion wouldn't affect it at all in my opinion. Remember everyone, as I said at the start of the video, if you try out this team for yourself against a fast GL Palp, please let me know how it goes, as I'd be very interested in seeing if a fast Palp changes this in any way. As always everyone, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, join my Discord server and share the video with your friends. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you all very soon.